Hi, my name is Maksim Kalameyets. I'm a researcher from Newcastle University, and today I will present our paper, Playing with Privacy, Uncovering Everyday Judgment of Data Sensitivity Through an Arcade Machine Interface. So the key problem that we address is that in one hand we have the legal sensitivity such as GDPR. It gives stronger protection to specific categories of data such as your health, religion, political views, racial or ethnic origin. And on the other hand, people often have their own sense of what feels sensitive. That may include private messages, photos, financial details, social ties, or locations. And while these two views overlap, they are definitely not the same. For one person, it may be more important to protect their political views from collection, while for others, it may be absolutely not important, and they more take care about their financial details or identity data or even location data. So we structure our research around these three research questions to investigate this phenomena. On the first question asks what kind of data people actually find sensitive. We are not assuming that the legal categories are the only important ones. There definitely should be more. The second question asks whether different groups of people judge sensitivity differently. For example, either difference by gender, by age, education, or digital literacy level. And the third question is the design question. If there is a gap between regulation and public expectations, and what should privacy tools and consent interfaces do differently? So to answer this, we need a way to measure a gap between GDPR and everyday judgment. So our method was to turn data collection into short, concrete scenarios. So we generated prompts for people, and each prompt has three parts: what collects your data, what data they collect, and why they collect it. For example, an application collects menstrual cycle data for personalized health suggestions. Then the participant make a quick judgment: I don't care about it, or I hate it. So these scenarios let us compare the responses of people with the GDPR classification of what data type and the purpose. So to build these prompts, we first created an ontology of what can be collected, who can collect this data, and why they can be collected. So the idea was that we can embed this into a public arcade game to attract people into this short survey. So this is how physical setup and the game interface looks like. So we built arcade style machines with a screen and two large buttons. Instead of asking people to fill a long survey, we showed one prompt at the time in a game format, so player press either they don't care or they hate it. And the idea is to make this interaction quick, public, and easy to understand while we're still collecting the structured data. So the next few slides show the game flow. So this is the start screen of the game. And on the first screen, we explain the rules in simple language. The game tells players that companies collect data, the GDPR has rules about sensitive data, and the game have both the collection tool and small education interaction. So then the participants see a concrete prompt. So in this example, they choose one of the two responses, and the meter moves in one of the direction. So the character, who is Elon Musk, he reacts immediately on the user choice. We use this playful feedback to keep the interaction fast and engaging. So if your view is contradicts GDPR, Elon Musk become happy, and if your views are aligned with GDPR, so he became more angry. So, and this meter shows also your agreement with or disagreement with the GDPR. So at the end, we show the result screen of the game. The last set of questions is the survey about the demographics, so we can correlate the answers with demographic information of participants. And in addition to it, we also conducted 9 interviews with the players, so in deep analysis to answer why they did these or those decisions. And arcade machines, they were deployed in 3 public locations in Newcastle upon Tyne, UK, the City Library, Science Festival, and University Building. In total, we had 224 participants who interacted with the machines. So we included 147 participants who finished the game till the end and who give more than at least 5 answers. So these give us approximately 2,935 individual responses, and the sample includes 123 male participants, 57 female participants, 7 who selected other, and 16 who preferred not to say. The largest group was from 16 to 24, mostly because it was located in one of the locations we have the university building. And we also conducted interviews, as I said, to understand the reason behind their choices. So the first result is that everyday sensitivity extends definitely beyond Article 9. So special predicted data had the highest dislike rate, about 55%, but several non-Article 5 categories were very close. So user-created and social data, such as messages, photos, social ties, were disliked in about 48% of responses. Financial data was almost the same, also around 48%, and ID data was about 45%. So the key message is not that GDPR categorized somehow data wrong. The message is that people also treat that everyday data are highly sensitive. The second result is that sensitivity judgments vary by your social position. For example, for expressive and social data, women were much more likely to reject collection, 57% in comparison to 34% with the men. And for health information, for example, people with higher digital literacy were more cautious, around 56% compared to 39% with low literacy participants. And for ID data, master educated participants were more cautious than bachelor educated participants. This slide looks more closely at gender differences with specific protected data. So the y-axis shows the average sentiment, where negative values means dislike or positive means acceptance of this data collection practice. What is interesting is that gender doesn't have one simple effect. It depends on the data type. For example, women are especially negative about the political views and trade union membership. Men are much more negative about social security number. So for some categories like sexual orientations or philosophical beliefs, the direction can even reverse. So the sensitivity is not a single universal preference. It's changed with the specific data category and with the specific group. And the last result that I want to share is the purposes. So people were more accepting when the purpose was clear and useful, such as safety, security, functionality, user experience, but I rejected purposes that feel vague, for example, advertisement, vague research, legal, governance claims. So in interviews, participants also often ask, in simple terms, why do they need this and who benefits? So privacy interfaces should not only say what data is collected, they also need to make the purpose understandable. So these findings lead to 3 design implications. First, systems should show social exposure clearly. Who can see expressive content, why it is used, and for how long. Second, we need short and flow data labels that explain data type, purposes, retention, and recipients in the moment of decision. And third, expressive social and financial data may need stronger safeguards even when they are not Article 9 special categories. Overall, data sensitivity is socially situated and purpose dependent. Thanks for listening. So I also included in the slide the dataset from Arcade Responses. It's publicly available on Kaggle, and the QR code links to it. So thanks for listening.